They criticized him over this.
This is the first of 100 wells we're gonna build in this video. Whoa, water! Oh, crap! You just witnessed a small village in Kenya get access to unlimited clean drinking water in less than a second. One down, 99 more wells in Africa to go. You're gonna love this video. Combined, these 100 wells are gonna give around 500,000 people fresh water to drink. And after building some more wells on this side of Kenya, we flew south to the school system of Nairiri. And let's just say, they were really happy to see us. How's it going? I was not expecting this. Thank you for the welcome. How to react. I appreciate it, everybody. This village threw a welcome ceremony upon our arrival, and Nolan got really into it. Nolan's the most awkward person I've ever met, and that's a lot coming from me. And after being shown around the school...
Here comes our guest.
How's it going? Are you having a good day? It's nice meeting you. One of the teachers showed me where the students currently get their water, which is from this river. That's extremely unsafe to drink. This is where your students used to get water from?
Yes.
This is crazy.
Yeah. You know, students complaining of diarrhea, infections like typhoid, because this is the water we've been using. So we try to treat, but you see, look at it, you know. But at the end of the day, life has to move on. You have to get some water anyway.
This situation is obviously extremely sad. These children's lives are being limited and sometimes cut short from being forced to drink unsafe water. But at least for this village, we're gonna put an end to it right now. I don't think this John's gonna fit. I'm a big guy. Let's see if we can find some water. It's raining! It's beautiful! After the water comes out of the ground, it's fed into enormous barrels like this one. And once they're built into the water towers, all of the neighboring villages will not only have clean drinking water, but a pressurized water source as well, which in short means no more doing laundry and unsafe water. And full! On a scale of 1 to Nolan's mom, how heavy is it? Nolan's mom time.
Welcome to Real Talk with Darius, everybody. Thank you for joining me. This is incredible. This is an incredible story. But first of all, remember to like, comment, subscribe, and set your notifications so you don't miss any of our content. This is incredible. First of all, secondly, I want to give a shout out to MrBeast for the wonderful work he's done or is doing in Africa. I know he's taking a lot of heat, which we're going to talk about in this video, but I want to give a shout out to him for the wonderful work he is doing, the lives he's changing, and you hear for yourselves the gratitude that the villagers are actually having. And so, good job, MrBeast, and congratulations to the community that he is touching. This is absolutely amazing. I know if I had the ability to do something like that, I know I would take advantage of it. So, let's go and continue to watch.
Times 2. Oh, God. Dude, I'll push you off of this. All right, here we go. Under control. We built 20 more wells in Kenya, and after we were done, Bro has another well in. Don't worry, I have more water in my other shoe. And just so you know how we built these first 29 wells, we used this giant drill to dig hundreds of feet into the ground, past the polluted sources and into an enormous aquifer of pure drinkable water. After that, we spent time installing pipes so that people all around Africa can access water from spigots like this one in Nairiri. Let's see how it tastes. Like water. It took me about a minute to fill this 5-gallon drum. How much water can this provide a day?
3,600 gallons a day.
Not only will this well cover the 400 kids at this school, but literally the entire neighborhood and village around this school can use this well.
We say thank you for the water.
Oh, no problem. This thing can basically pump nonstop for 30 years. You would think that having an effect of this magnitude would require the resources and funding of a large government, but that's not true. Solving this problem is possible, and something humanity should all be putting effort in to fix.
What's the secret of success?
I agree with MrBeast. I mean, does it really take a government? Now, again, thank God for governments, good governments, that do wonderful work for the community, for their people. But really, if you had the time, if you had the resources, if you had the know-how, if you had the ability to hire in expert workers, would you not be willing to do something like this? something so worthwhile, something so life impacting that you would invest. I like to call it invest, not spending, but investing the time and the money and the resources in order to change so many lives. And this could change lives for generations to come, depending on how the people and the government in Africa manages this situation, because this is wonderful, this is good, but just as much as it was allowed or permitted to get as bad as it did before, it can get, somebody can come in because water is such a commodity, especially in those types of areas. Somebody can come in and turn it into some type of business where they rob the people, and I hope to God that does not happen. But that's when you have greedy people involved. That's exactly what they come in and do.
To be honest, just find something you love doing and do it for a long period, and eventually you'll succeed. So I'm gonna bring it super close. See us? Is that cool? If you look up, it's recording. All right, well, I'm gonna get close. All right. Yeah, you can see yourself. We were also able to install a well for this village, and these 12 other villages. And while we were finishing these wells, we were also able to update one of their schools with brand new computers. How are they liking it?
They like them.
Glad to see it turned out well. And we also updated the classrooms with new furniture, installed shelves and filled them with new books, donated a soccer ball for every student, and even put modern whiteboards and projectors in all the classrooms.
See, this is what I'm talking about. If you listen, there's two other things I want to point out here as I'm watching this amazing story. If you have the willingness but not the ability, how much does that help these villagers out? Help those children out, which is the next generation. How does having a willingness to do something and not having the ability help these people? It doesn't. But then on the other end, how does having the ability to do something but not the willingness? How does that affect that community as well? I think that person in that type of situation is even worse off because they're not taking advantage of the opportunities in a positive way to do what they can. And again, I'm not saying that person is guilty if they don't just jump in and try to be savior or hero, whatever. And I don't think MrBeast that's his goal. I don't know, but I don't get that's his goal. But my point is this: if you have the ability to do something but not the willingness, is that worse than having the willingness but not the ability? I don't. Yes, I do. I believe so. I believe that is worse because that means you're lazy and you're selfish. So, and again, it don't even have to be this situation. It could be like here in the States, in America, we have poor who are walking the streets, people shooting up on drugs in different cities in this country. We have people who live in completely impoverished lifestyles whose needs go unmet, some of which were for whatever the reason may be. The point is, there's people in the states that are as bad off or worse, while they do have access to some of the benefits or a lot of the benefits we have in America. So I commend this young man for what he is doing. And the again, here in a little bit, we're going to get to some of the criticisms that has been levied his way.
Do you guys like the projector?
Yes. We were using a chalk and then a lot of dust, but today everything is clean. We truly appreciate it.
No problem. It's the least we could do. But then when we flew out to the site of the 45th well, we realized this community had it even harder. Every time they need to get water, they need to take a treacherous mile-long hike through the jungle. And that mile-long hike also happens to be on a giant mountain.
And see, for those of you who have not done your research or heard anything about what's going on in Africa, there's a lot of tribal, I'm gonna call it tribal warfares that goes on. I mean, over the past several years, especially, we've heard about little girls being kidnapped by the hundreds, by the tens and hundreds, and some of them raped and abused and things of that nature. Some have been found, discovered, and returned back to their families, and some not. It just depends on the news cycle that we hear. But the point is that trek those people have to take is not all guys. Even guys have it hard in Africa as well. Men, guys, the boys, the fellas, the boys and the men, excuse me, but especially the women. And so this is not a discussion about men being stronger than women, all that kind of stuff. This is not what this is about. Inhumanity is inhumanity, be it done against a man or woman, a boy or a girl. There's a lot of inhumanity going on. So in areas like this, it's very dangerous to trek in order to get water, filthy water at that. So, like I said, this gesture, if you will, by Mr. Beast and his company, his organizations, employees, etc. This will go a long way.
Very early, about 4 o'clock, so that I can fetch water for the school.
We are not safe fetching water here. That place is very slippery. Chances of getting an injury is very high.
So while we worked on their well, the community took me to see how they currently source their water.
You guys would have to make this trip how many times a day?
2 times.
2 times a day. Oh, wow. So a typical student would carry something like this?
Yeah.
Oh, God. If 200 students did this every day, how hard could it be?
It could be very hard.
Oh boy. Dang, this is very steep. We're just walking down this mountain forever.
Every day.
It was actually surprising how difficult this hike was. And these people go through all of that just to get to this spigot. That's water is still unsafe to drink.
This is where you guys get your water from normally?
Yes.
And
You know, some Americans, we as Americans really got it made. We just don't really realize it as much until you see something or experience something like this. And I don't wish this on anybody, but think about it. Some of us walk to our refrigerators and say, man, the refrigerator is full, or our bedroom closets full of clothes, refrigerator full of food and different drinks. And we'll say, some of us will say, I have nothing to wear. There's nothing in this closet to wear. Or we'll, in the fridge, we'll say, I'm hungry, but there's nothing to eat. The cupboard's full of food. There's nothing to eat. You have access to drinks. You want something different. We have choices. We have options. These people do not. This is what gets me about these types of things. And people want to criticize. Matter of fact, let's just go to that. Let me go and go to a video with the criticisms that are going on of Mr. Beast and his organization. It's just ridiculous. People gonna fuss and fight about anything, and that's what gets me. People will find something. That means there's something wrong with you, something wrong with them. If you gotta fuss and whine about something, you can complain or criticize something all the time, and you choose not to take the higher road or whatever, but you always critical. That's a personal issue that need to be dealt with.
MrBeast has said he's built 100 wells across Africa in a video that's racked up millions of views posted on Saturday. He says that the wells can give 500,000 people clean drinking water, with 52 wells in Kenya and the other 48 wells in Zimbabwe, Uganda, Somalia, and Cameroon.
I know it's weird that a YouTuber has to do all this stuff, but someone's got to do it. And if no one else is, we're going to do it.
With 207 million subscribers on his YouTube channel, his fans from all over the world have applauded him, with tons of comments calling him an inspiration. But some people are worried that the wells could contribute to depleting groundwater and overall have a negative environmental impact. On top of that, others think the video perpetuates the stereotype of Africa as an impoverished continent. Even MrBeast himself said he expected to get cancelled for the video, but says he'll always use his platform to help people and inspire others to do the same.
Dude, MrBeast just drilled 100 wells in Africa. That's cool, I guess, but honestly, I think MrBeast is perpetuating the cycle of corrupt governments and systems by not addressing why he has to do these things in the first place. Dude, corrupt governments and systems doing nothing to help their people doesn't need to be explained because it's something we all experience on a regular basis. It's obvious they barely give a shit about us. Okay, well, he should still use his platform to talk about the root causes of these issues and push for social change. Look, movements and politicians have been yapping about change for years, and yet everything remains the same, if not worse. If anything, MrBeast is a great example of how individuals in the 1% could and should be using part of their wealth to take action where corrupt systems and governments are failing. No, MrBeast has an obligation to challenge and provoke the local governments of any area he helps into changing their system.
All right, guys, so we got to talk about MrBeast, who is probably the most famous YouTuber in the world. I don't know, maybe Logan Paul may give him a run for his money. I'm not...
Yeah. First of all, shout out to BCP. Was it Greg? Greg over at BCP. I've been watching some of his videos over the past few months, and he and I share some of the same views, politically speaking. and stuff. And so he actually uploaded these videos of these criticisms that's going on, and it's ridiculous what people are saying and what they're doing to Mr. Beast. How they're taking a good situation and turn it into a situation about them. They just want to. This is their opportunity, I guess, to get a little fame or get a little recognition or whatever. But the way I see it, Mr. Beast is doing a wonderful job utilizing his platform to make a difference in the lives of others. Which of us would not do that if we were given the same opportunities? That's the question we must ask. I mean, why cast stones at someone for doing the very thing that we would like to do if we were in the same situation? Okay, let me ask it this way. What about if you were in that situation, or someone you love, someone you know who's dear to your heart, was in a situation they needed clothes, they needed food, they needed clean water, they needed good food that's beneficial to their health? How would you feel? Would you give a care about the color of his skin, even at times, even their motives, in order to make sure you and or your loved ones got the proper care that they needed? Would all of that matter to you? For most people, they would say no. You're going to still have some people who going to reject it regardless. But for most people, they'll say, "Bring me the water, give me that food, provide me the clothing and the shelter, whatever it is." But now you're always going to have somebody who wants to complain about something. And that's what, hopefully, watching this, I hope some people would change their hearts and their mentalities about this, because otherwise you're going to put your own self, some people believe in karma. I'm a Christian. Okay. I'm a Bible believing Christian and a kingdom citizen. And so I believe that what you sow, you shall reap. So if you sow all this vitriol, if you sow all this complaining and critiquing or unnecessary criticisms towards somebody else, you're definitely going to reap it right back into your own life. That's just how it goes. So let's go and continue with the video.
Yeah, so you're saying that, you heard that. Okay, you're saying that, you heard that. Now, again, to me, I'm not the most informed person about what can be the downside of building wells in Africa and impoverished places like Kenya to give kids clean drinking water. I'm not sure exactly what the downsides are, or whether the downsides outweigh the benefits or the positives or whatever. But again, you do have people who are criticizing Mr. Beast because they believe that this is an example of having a white savior complex. Okay, they're essentially accusing him of racism and trying to take advantage of the image of a white man saving black children for money and clout. Take a look.
The biggest YouTuber in the world, MrBeast, just posted a video of him digging 100 wells in Africa. And I got to say, as an African myself, I'm not impressed, because I am sick and tired of watching these palm-colored influencers using African villages as a stage for their white savior propaganda. Issues like poverty, disease, and bad drinking water are not exclusive to African regions. Flint, Michigan is a good example of an American city that got all three of those things. But MrBeast made the intentional choice to go to an African village to make a big show of his great humanitarianism. Why? Because Western society is so conditioned to thinking of the entire continent of Africa as being beneath them that they will see no problem with people like MrBeast exploiting the images of children for financial gain and for an ego boost. And I know in his heart he thinks he's doing the right thing, but with as big of a platform as he has, he's actually propagating imagery that says Western society is higher, African society is lower, and they need our help. And if history has told us anything, we know for a fact that your help doesn't help.
Yeah, so you seen that, you heard that. So apparently MrBeast.
See, that's the thing that gets me. Listen to these guys. He acts like he's probably thinking he's speaking for every African. I don't know. But could it be that MrBeast, number one, didn't have this guy's name or in his mind? Could it be that MrBeast wasn't even thinking about this guy? And could it also be MrBeast is not trying to impress anybody? He just want to make a difference? Could that simply be, the guy said, hey, I know in his heart he probably this, he probably that. Could it be MrBeast simply saw a need? He's got plenty of wealth, plenty of influence, plenty of notoriety. It was probably something he really didn't ask for in the first place, but he did. He acquired it. He done some creative things. He wanted to do some things, some what's the word? He did some things that garnered a lot of attention. Yes, he built up a huge platform for himself, but could it be once he reached the top? I don't know if it's the pinnacle of his life or his career, but could it be that he saw something more, that what he had is not fulfilling in and of itself, having wealth and fame and all that kind of stuff? Could it be that he simply wanted to make a difference in someone else's life and he had the power, he had the willingness, he had the ability, he had the passion to do something? I mean, is that a crime? And I often wonder about this. Why is there always a racial perspective in regards to these types of things? Could it not? Aren't there not just genuinely good people, regardless of the color of their skin? I mean, let's be honest. As a Christian black man, I couldn't honestly tell you I'll be safe. Oh, I felt more safe in a black neighborhood. And I used to live in an all black neighborhood. I was next down the street from and next door to a drug dealer, black man selling dope or whatever drugs he was selling to his own people. I don't see y'all holding them near as much as accountable as you do if anything come up that looks like it's racially motivated. All there has to be is a perspective or a hint. People can create in their own minds what they want to see and what they want to perceive. That's one of the biggest things that drives a lot of these issues we're facing today. All it does is it's a division, a weaponized tool. Racism is a weaponized tool. I'm not saying it's not real racism. I've experienced it in my career at different times in my career. Let me say it that way. And I have family, and I know others who have as well. But that doesn't mean everything is racially motivated. What about the racist black people out there too? By the way, there are a lot of racist black people. You ain't got to take my word for it. Just look it up. Listen to how they talk about white people. Just go ahead and do it. I mean, it's there. So, but we don't need to be racially motivated and everything and dividing and conquering each other, especially when there's a bigger beast out there trying to take all of us out. But again, that's another conversation for another time. But the point I'm trying to make is this. Should not matter the color of your skin. If you're truly, and I do know there are people out there, there are bad people out there, there are evil people out there, as well as there are good people. Okay? Let's keep it real. There are good people and there are evil people in this planet. And if some good is being done, why is it because of the color of one's skin should we start pointing fingers and saying, hey, no, I don't want to receive it because you're white or because you of this class or whatever? Why do we do that? Why are we robbing our kids? Why are we robbing other people's kids, the future generations, from unifying? Because we're so more interested in division. That's the thing that don't get me. So this story inspired me. And I was like, man, let me check this out. So when I heard about this, I was like, okay, I need to do a show on it and talk about it and get you guys' thoughts. So let me ask you this question as I end this video. How many of you expect to be criticized? And I wrote it down just to make sure I don't forget it. How many of you expect to be criticized for your charitable deeds while your critics know little or nothing about you and why you do it? Drop your comments down. Drop your comments down in the comment section. And remember again to like, subscribe, and set your notifications so you don't miss any of our content.